right, guys, so here we are to talk about the movie Black Panther.
What up? We just got back
just
from Black Panther. Black Panther currently sits at 97% critical score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, and I think it deserves it. It was
pretty really good.
Yeah.
At this point, when you see a Marvel movie, you're not even really analyzing it. You're not even really talking about if it's good or not.
It's just about how good it is, where it stands in the positioning of other Marvel movies, and how much better than average movies it is.
And it'll be big news once one is actually bad or falters or whatever. And like that's honestly part of, like if I have any issues right now, it's that I'm just like there's almost nothing to say. It was like, yep, it was good. Like I have no problems with it.
Yeah, really, it's just about, well, which movie had a better Stan Lee cameo? That's the whole thing.
Pretty strong Stan Lee
cameo. This one was pretty good.
One.
He steals money. Well, I'll just hold on to this.
I'll keep these over here for safekeeping. Yeah, exactly. And I really liked this cameo because I heard that they filmed a bunch with him like at once.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that from now on it was only going to be like he wouldn't be literally in the same scene like they would cut to like the next table and he'd be there. It would always be like faked that he was there.
No, this one
but
worked.
He was like touching Mr. Black Panther or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a cameo in the Runaways also, but it was one that could have been easily filmed, I think, outside the thing.
Yeah, like if he's like the guy in the security guard booth, or if he's like answers the phone,
he was
or
a
if he's
driver.
in the phone, but or the driver next to the thing, right? Like they can like pan over and just like splice it in, like he's not really there and stuff. But yeah, he's fucking right there. It was great.
Yeah, no, very very enjoyable movie. Great color. Like this one had the best tonality, I think. Like especially if you compare it to the last thing I saw was a DC movie where it's all fucking like grim and shitty, and then like weird color in the background for no reason. And this, which I'm like, oh, it's so vibrant and nice.
No, it was great.
It was cool seeing like Wakanda, and they make a comment earlier like a sunset on Wakanda is like the most beautiful thing, and then spoilers, it ends with a sunset.
You get to see it.
And,
we're gonna get into spoilers.
I was like, yeah, that was super beautiful.
By the way. Yeah, that was a great ending. There was a little Lion King joke to be made there, but it was a great ending when he takes him up there. Everything the light touches, etc., etc.
I like how they did it, where like it's protected by this like hologram of woods that really make it just look like it's like almost like a mountain of woods, and they're like in the crater of this thing. So like, it's pretty cool.
No, super great. And honestly, like that all felt fine and good. I don't know if this is all the same exact thing as it is in the comic books history or not.
Did you like the blending technology and like actual heritage and stuff in there? Like there's a skyscraper that has like a thatched roof on the side of it, and I was like, that's very cool.
I like it. I don't know if that's realistic or makes sense, but
I pictured it when I first saw it. I was like, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But then I thought about it, and I'm like, well, who would be living in the top floors of this skyscraper thing? I'm like, a rich person. And what would a rich person do? Well, they would have their own tastes, and they'd be like, no, I want this. Kind of like how idiots do things now.
I was just going to say.
So yeah, it makes sense.
It's like having a penthouse where one of the walls is just a giant shark tank or whatever the fuck, right?
Yeah.
Only you have your It
makes just as much sense.
Totally.
It's an artistic choice.
And they're all very affluent there. They all have access to all these resources and all that stuff.
I loved his like. What would you call them? I guess the royal guard.
Yeah,
just like these super powerful ladies that are just like beating the shit out of people.
And like I knew that we were in good hands because like I'm on Twitter. I like read stuff. I've heard a lot of things about the movie, and a lot of people are.
I tried to avoid anything about anything.
I haven't heard about plot stuff because I'm pretty good at like bailing out and like scrolling to the next thing. I can see certain words or whatever, but I just hear general things, and people are pretty good about spoilers that I follow usually or whatever. But you generally hear like a rumbling when something happens or whatever, and it's like this is such a big thing for people of color, and I always go, I wonder what this is going to be, like what the tone of this is going to be or whatever as a white man, whatever the fuck. But I knew that we were in really good hands really in the beginning when the guy goes to the door and he's like, there's two Grace Jones looking chicks out there or whatever. And I was like, oh, it's 1992. That's so perfect. That's so awesome. Like just like nailed that, I thought. Like there were no issues at all with that.
In that scene in particular, like the double agent type of thing.
Oh, God, yes.
Like, and how people are switching between accents and going back and forth. I love it, like when people are like, you're acting. I like acting.
I like acting too. There was a lot of acting in this movie.
Nobody felt fake over the top with accents, and I like that because like most movies, there's someone there's usually one person where you're like, oh, you lost it in the middle of that line there, bro. I don't know what you're doing.
Stuff. Yeah, I don't know if they would let that happen almost, right? Because at this point, everyone's so touchy.
It's a little funny that everyone was like speaking English though for so long.
Yeah.
Even when like not around anyone.
When
that
there
it
was
makes sense to
literally
need
not
to
a
speak
single
English.
person
Yeah.
there who you would have needed to speak English for.
Yeah.
That's for the audience's
And that's just a
benefit,
movie
right?
thing.
I guess, yeah.
And
Totally.
like a few movies have done this like well. Like, do you remember the 13th Warrior?
Yes, it's one of
So
my favorites.
in the 13th Warrior, it starts off where they're not speaking English, and all of a sudden they start speaking English as they learn,
Yeah.
as like the character learns the new language, it becomes his language.
Yes.
And honestly, they're never speaking English because he was like a Spaniard or something, and,
Right.
and they're speaking
Neither
like
of them were
Viking,
English, right?
But it's
Yeah, yeah.
it's English for the audience.
Right.
And I don't know what the best way to do things like this would be.
So like 13th Warrior, they say was not stealing, but maybe homaging Hunt for Red October, I think it is.
Okay.
Where they zoom in on, like, it's Russian, I think, and they zoom in or zoom out on someone's mouth, and then as they're doing it, it like cuts to like English around them, and they cut back, and now it's just English from that point onward. And I love the 13th Warrior for various reasons.
I hated the Hunt for Red October.
Except for, I've never seen it, I think.
It was on Channel 9 a
I'm not
lot,
into
and I don't
war.
think I've ever seen it
Yeah.
all the way through. But all the parts I've seen, I'm like, God damn it, just die.
Oh, stop. Can this hunt come to an end, please?
Ugh. I should watch it again as an adult and see what I
Yeah,
think
me
about
too.
it.
I feel like there's a lot of stuff. I was never into war movies in general. There's a lot that I haven't seen. War movies, gangster movies, a lot of that stuff I've like never seen. I haven't seen all the Godfathers. I'm like really bad with a lot of
I
that
recently picked one up. There's one with Wesley Snipes and what the heck is his name? Sean Connery, Rising Sun or something.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. And I remember hating it as a kid. I hated
Yeah,
it so much. I
me
was like,
too.
it's so boring. And
probably great.
I was like, give it a shot. These are good
Yeah.
people. I'm like, I can't imagine they would pick a terrible movie. So I have it, and I'm like, I should watch this and see what to think about it. But same deal. With
Was it
Hunt for
good?
October.
Did you watch it?
I did not watch it yet.
Oh God,
But I will.
there's a lot of stuff like that I feel like is in that camp.
Yeah. Marvel things, not that though. They're always good.
Accessible to everyone.
They
at all
really are.
ages.
And
No, this was dope. This was awesome.
because even like the violence is like
Yeah.
nothing's over the top. Like there's a woman gets her throat slit right in front of her friends,
Yes.
and like there's no blood, nothing gets shown.
They've gotten
so,
really
like,
creative
it's,
with that.
It's certainly approachable. A child could watch that and not even really know what happened, but the adults go, "Oh God."
No, totally. And honestly, there's a scene. We are in Spoiler Town. We just live there. The movie's good. Go see it. It's obviously good. Everyone knows it's good. Whatever. I have nothing bad to say about it. When he pulls out the big knife at the end, Michael B. Jordan pulls out the big knife. I really would have wanted like a scene of like blood like falling onto the rocks below him to indicate how like grievous of a wound it was or whatever. But they don't show that because he can't show that. But that's fine.
Yeah, no, but it didn't
you know.
take anything away. I liked his like dying comment thing where he's like bury me in the sea, like, and I was like I forget his exact wording, bury me in the sea, like the people who jumped off the
with
ships
the graves
they
of
knew
my ancestors or whatever.
Yeah.
That was a little. That's the kind of stuff that's a little too on the nose. But that's.
But I
one
thought
of
the
only
line
two
was
comments.
really good.
It's a very poetic line. It's great.
and he dies like almost
Yes,
immediately after
totally.
that. But it's really the only line like that's like
Yeah, there was
that.
like one other one throughout the whole thing. Like I expected a lot more heavy-handed like race and gender stuff in this. Just
based on just the
how
amount
people
of
talk about
like
it.
outcry and bullshit I heard
Okay,
from
you've heard
people.
that shit too.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not-
Well,
honestly, if I'm alone in this or whatever, yeah.
I've
hear
heard
shit
it
these
from
days.
on both ends.
Yeah.
where like some people are like you have the idiot like the Nazi-ish people on the far right
Yes.
who are posting pictures. One of them from Supernatural of Jensen Ackles like after he was beaten in a scene saying, "Me and my girlfriend tried to see this movie and they said it's not
Oh,
for
yeah,
you."
yeah.
And then you hear the flip side where people are like they don't like the movie. They say the movie's racist.
Yeah, I was gonna
and
say some of that's trolling, but yes, some of that's
everyone has an
idiots.
opinion.
Yes.
You know.
No, like
Whatever.
Honestly, this is
It's a
more.
movie.
This is more, and like they kind of on the nose it, but in like a good way. Like this movie is really more about how what is it, like imperialism? Like their attitude was to be hidden and like keep to their own and like not fuck around. And
Yeah,
he literally
like
had
China.
Well, but he has that conversation where he's like, yeah, we have to do some outreach. And that guy's like, if you mean reach out and smack some people, I'm into that, but I don't want to go fuck around and whatever. And that makes him susceptible to this like evil person that comes in
Yeah.
and says, we're going to fuck with everybody. It's going to be great. And that's that bad impulse. And that's what people are critical of America's foreign policy and all that stuff to do. So I think this is an awesome little movie to take this little little topic and like analyze it.
You could also take it though that he was that particular character is also just a loyalist to the crown, and like he may have gone with whatever any leader would have said.
Yeah, but he was down for that plan even before that guy came in and said, Guess what my new plan is, to do the exact thing, and that's why he like wins him over, right? So he's doing it for like the right reasons, but someone who wants to do it for the wrong reasons, right? That's what like literally plays out. Someone comes in and says, "Yeah, we're gonna go bring peace to that country or whatever." When meanwhile they want oil or tungsten or something like that or whatever. And then people go, "Yeah, we should go free those people," and then everything goes to shit because it always does or whatever. It's a tale as old as time. It's great.
The idea of burning down all the source of power,
so dumb.
I was like, God damn it, man! Why? Why do you do that?
Is that shit permanent?
Yeah.
And why? So why? Oh, it's so dumb. Why? I had that same thought. That bothered me so much.
Unless you take that secondary thing that remove it, have it.
But now the other potion is like kryptonite forever for Black Panther, and he has to worry about it.
Well, the other potion is made from the same stuff.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say because he can never redose himself, because that's all gone now. I kind of like the concept of saying we can't just create an army of like Black Panthers or something like that. But it's so dumb to just end that forever, like the whole thing. I hope they're gonna find one sprout somewhere and like bring it back or something like that.
Like there are some types of plants I know, like burning them or whatever can like make them come back like the next spring or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
And I wonder if that'll be one of the things. Go back, more powerful than before.
Right, the thing under the ground still lives, and then all the ashes fertilize it, and it comes back. It makes you fly around.
I really hate the idea of anything ever being extinct, and that's a sad thing because it's such a cool plant.
And speaking of extinctions, we have two major deaths to talk about in this movie.
Sure.
One is Claw. I'm shocked that they killed him at this point.
That's crazy. He's been in a couple of movies now. He's been kind of popular. Like, losing his arm, I was like, oh, look at him, one-armed and like walking around. I'm like, interesting, cool.
I gotta tell you, he's like a goofy bastard. And in the last movie with like the cuttlefish and all that stuff, I was like, I'm done with you. Go fuck yourself. In this movie, he won me over, and I was like, no, I think you're awesome now. And he dies.
He has a great line in the beginning where he's like, you can go. Just don't tell anybody. And then he shoots the guy in the back.
Yeah. But then even like it was a constant like somersaulting of like subverting all the things, because he would do something and then kind of be like, well, like, no, you want the crime scene to be more spread out or whatever, and you're like, oh fuck or whatever.
Make us look amateur.
Yeah, and this awesome thing where you go, oh shit, and he really seemed to enjoy what he did, and he wasn't like twirling his mustache and saying, we're going to destroy the vibranium. He was like, we're gonna sell it. We want fucking money. We're gonna do this.
Yeah.
And then the guy's like, they have an entourage. He's like, we have a SoundCloud. We do. And was he fucking with him? Do they really have a SoundCloud?
I don't know.
It's great either way.
Either way,
I love
it's fine.
this. Go fuck yourself. It's awesome. And now he's dead. So I don't know if he's really dead because the body's in Wakanda, and maybe you can continue that or something.
He looked dead to me.
He was getting drug around like a dead dude. I'm pretty sure he's dead. Some form of dead.
His body wasn't in Wakanda. His body was on an airstrip somewhere.
No. He dragged him there and said, "I have a gift for you," and opened the sack, right? And he was in there for the other people.
Oh, was that him in there? Oh, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, he's dead though.
I think he's certainly dead, but there's several levels of dead. You're not dead until you're all dead.
Yeah.
Congo?
Yeah.
The other death, Michael B. Jordan.
Of course, Michael B. Jordan, who was amazing in
I was going to say.
I leaned over at one point and I was like, man, I kind of would like him to be the Black Panther because he sold this role so good, and he was in such good shape.
I was really impressed.
I'm like, no, this guy's a beast.
People have been talking him up for a long time. He's one of those actors that people talk about as being like a really good up-and-coming actor.
Sure.
I've probably missed some like indie roles or like...
He's Apollo Creed's son, goddammit.
I was just going to say, some like boring movie roles or movies that are not for me, but then Creed is obviously something that's not for me or whatever. So people have been saying he's really good. I'd only seen him, I think, in Chronicle and like one or two other things, like a little bit. And was he in Fantastic Four? Is
yes.
that him? Yeah. So I didn't even see that. So in my head, I was like, he's fine, but people say he's good. Like, blew me away here. I thought it was amazing.
No, he was really
impressive.
good. I thought and he looked cool. Like I liked him he was a great villain. I liked him in the beginning, how he was doing his thing, and like toward the end, I thought like he seemed like he was super OP. Like he was like destroying. Like he beat the Black Panther pretty much hands down.
Yes.
Like he's the rightful king. Just saying.
Hashtag one true king.
Just saying. Just saying.
Killmonger though is such a dumb. They went with that.
That's a comic name.
I'm hoping it's a comic name. Otherwise, fuck.
But no, I thought he was really good, and I would have liked to have seen more of him, and that's why I would have liked him to play the Black Panther. I thought, like,
more of him as an actor.
Dude.
Or whatever,
yeah, exactly. I just want more. Of him. Nothing against our actual Black Panther, just Michael B. Jordan's like he was really good.
I know. I was super
really
impressed
good
because like for like a minute there, I'm like. Who's going to be the villain this time? Are we going to have some insane comic booky weird thing or whatever? And it's like, no, we're going to pick, like, again, something appropriate for this, hero's story.
Yeah,
we're going to
really
introduce someone, right? And he's got motivations, too. He's not just twirling his mustache, being like, I'm going to kill you, Black Panther. He's like, I'm going to kill you, which will be fun. But really, I want to take, like Wakanda. And not just to sit there. I have a 10-point plan. I'm going to make Wakanda great again. We're going to do this shit, right? And that's wonderful. So like when he's fighting for like a reason. He's not just fighting because they said you have to be the villain now. In this thing.
Yeah, and he is a fighter. Every mark he has on his flesh is from a kill. The man has hundreds and hundreds of marks across his whole body.
And Agent Whoever said like he racked up kills like it was a damn video game or whatever. And by the way, his American accent was very jarring. What's his name? The Hobbit guy.
The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Frodo. I don't know. I don't know what his real name is.
Bilbo? Is he Bilbo or Frodo?
Bilbo. Yeah. My bad. I don't know any names.
No, I don't know his name, but his American accent, he's good.
Yeah.
He's Watson for me. He's That's where I know him most from. I like him a lot. He was great. People were making jokes like he was the Tolkien white guy because
that's funny.
It is super funny, but it's not even as funny now that I've seen it because he was a fine supporting character. He fit in perfectly and had stuff to do and was heroic in his own way.
The technology in this was pretty awesome.
I know.
His sister is like the James Bond Q of the world.
I love that.
She made some fucking ridiculous shit that was so cool. The part where they throw the thing on the car and then like it be like a steering column and like a chair pop out in like Wakanda and she's driving a car in Korea.
You love that?
I was like, that's dope as fuck.
Right.
And then there's a hilarious scene where he explodes a car, and the two are like, and she's like in just the seat and the wheel, and she's like surfing down with a fucking spear in the hood.
Yeah, that whole set piece, and honestly, like starting really, so there was a fight early on that was kind of like whatever I thought, and then there was that casino fight that ends with that car chase. That whole sequence, the casino fight might have been up until near the end's fight. That was like super great. The music changed and like. She like shoots up and then like you kind of follow you don't follow the bullet, but you kind of like her shooting transitions you up back up to the balcony with that chick fighting, and then she like throws someone down and like jumps down and that transitions you down and like the music keeps shifting as it goes to different areas like seamlessly in this scene and like you're like flying around, and that sounds really really dumb when I say it out loud, but trust me.
No, it was good.
In a lot of fights, you don't have a sense of the space, and it's just this big, like not to use a joke from The Thing, but like a big, like we're at the airport in this big open, field, fighting in this conveniently gigantic place for us to fight. It's like this was like a real, space, and you flew around it, and it was well done, artistic, creatively done, and all that stuff, and you see all the things. And I made it rain, all that stuff.
Did you ever think the technology went a little too far?
Yes.
My example for like something where I was like, I don't know if I exactly love this was they have like these like cloth shields that project into like laser shields.
That might be my only so that was very much too
and I like the idea of laser shields. It's just that what they're built into seemed like there's too much basis on like crazy technology and a lot of these things. I was like, I don't know if you need that.
They were very Star Wars prequels or whatever.
Yes. That ending scene did remind me of the Gungans.
That was like on the Gungan warfare or whatever. So like having like traditional weapons or even like glove blasters that have like panther heads on them and stuff like that.
It's a little bit 90s cartoon.
But that's like I'm okay with that. But then taking it all the way to like the other with the laser shields and like some of the stuff, it was like a little too far for me or something like that. Yeah. But yes, when you put it next to all that stuff, it does come off like 90s cartoon style or whatever.
A little bit.
But like
I still was in
those like rings, the chakrams or whatever weapons and all that stuff. I kind of dig that, but
little parts here and there took me where I was like, a little too much.
Well, and even the whole suit coming out of his necklace and all that stuff, sort of like, and it's like, well,
it's magic, obviously.
Well, you don't know, technology is amazing, you don't understand it, and I'm like, I know that, but still, or whatever, it's the whole thing. It should take time or something.
Yeah, in a comic book, where you can just be like, It's a little different than when you see things happen practically. Certain things don't translate as well to screen, but I thought it was okay. It was, nothing really took me out of it. I thought the fight on the train platform were like, oh, the suits are wearing away. Like, I was like, that didn't really sell me. I thought that was a little under.
You knew that was going to happen because they set it up. It was one of the only they really don't pause for exposition all that much. They give some speeches and stuff, and there's some of the dream sequences, but there's really only that one thing where Bilbo is asking, what's that? And she's explaining everything to him, and that's one of the few things that actually gets, oh, that's what that is exactly. It temporarily disables vibranium, and I'm like, oh, well, that's fucking gonna be how the thing.
Yeah.
I was waiting the entire time for that to happen or something like that. So
that was cool. The other thing I thought was a little weird was like the javelins, like the spears that like explode or something because they're made of vibranium or something. He throws one and he takes down like that like throws it and the helicopter just explodes.
Oh yeah.
And like, I don't know. To me, the weapons are made of it, and then it makes them just stronger, and they're better, and this and that. Yeah. But it didn't translate the same way all the time, because you have all the warriors have all their weapons are made of that shit, and then you have them all with like lasers and technologies and that. But when they're fighting Black Panther, it's just like a person with a stick hitting a tank. Like he just took on all of them.
That's interesting.
And I hate the amount of like, and like a laser force field blows people away. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of that. I didn't like it when Bilbo did it. She's like, just cross your arms and now go like this, and it separates the two planes that were tying onto it. I was like, what are you doing here?
So like, I thought that was goofy because it's like making him do the salute or whatever the fuck. But that's like a Stargate thing. That's like how you control that vehicle or something.
No, I'm aware, but I just hate when like it's because it's not like he was a special vehicle. Like, he is a vehicle that's available. There's all the other vehicles that are available. Yes. They're all used to dealing with the things. You'd think, like, we should have the ability to stop this thing from happening.
Well, so
couldn't they do this and it would reattach?
Yeah, like why does vehicle A have a way of disabling vehicle B that vehicle B has a way of overriding and breaking free of automatically? Like, what else is that for? Reverse the polarity. Like,
presumably they're not usually attacking themselves; they're attacking other people. So I understand it a little bit, but it felt a little convenient.
Yeah. There's a lot of
I
stuff.
loved that he's doing this, and all of a sudden what's that noise? And he's being attacked at the base. I thought that was great because you don't usually see things do that. Like, I'll just jump over all the obstacles and just kill you at the home base.
I liked it too because when I said before, like, he got a chance to be heroic and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. It's still to this day how in like Ant-Man when like the different people on like the crew break off and each one has to do their own heroic thing, and like the one Russian hacker guy's heroic thing is trying to hit the space bar or the enter key or something, and he's tied up or he's stuck and he's like. And he has to get it because one guy's got the car and one guy's fighting and like dodges stuff, and then Ant-Man's doing all his stuff and all that shit. But like when you give supporting characters like that something to actually do, not just like get rescued, tag along for no reason, punch in and go, it's not working, and then they have to climb the thing anyway to get the stuff, and you're like, whatever. But if because he had to choose, like, nope, take me back in there. And it's like, what? And it's like, nope, there's one more ship we have to do this or whatever. And you're like, yeah, Paulson.
Do you think the rest of the ships were being controlled in the same fashion remotely, or do you think people were in them?
I had several moments during this where I thought, are there pilots? Because are they just murdering people?
Yeah. Because either they're murdering people or not. Because it's very hard to say nowadays because everything drives itself.
Well, and back when it was claused like gang, I was like, well, okay, so you can kill those people, it's fine.
They're bad guys, but these are potentially just loyal citizens of Wakanda doing their job.
Who are like, oh, we have a new king, this sucks, I guess I'll just go along with it, he just killed that other person, all right, and they're just doing it. And then Black Panther's like, psych, and like throws a spear at you and blows you up and kills you, and you're like, oh, I'm sorry. There was a lot of murder during that last battle. It was like super pitched, where people are literally fighting and hurting each other. Sure. I was like, damn. This is a
How did you feel
fight.
about the rhinos?
I loved the rhinos. Rhinos are dumb. I was not happy to see them there. I like when movies set things up and pay them off. So the whole time,
earlier and then bam, there it was.
I had like forgotten about it until they came back. So that's good too. It's good pacing. It indicates
they're huge. I didn't realize how big they were from the first time we saw them.
And he says something like, "Oh, she's still growing," and he goes, "Of course." And I'm like, "Oh, you're feeding her vibranium, I guess." Like everything's just explained by this magical. It's a comic book. But what saved it for me, with them being like a goofy addition, was when he like gets one in a headlock and somehow stops it. And I was like, oh my god! As much as things felt CG edgy and like not whatever, that I was like, okay, that was pretty good. That still only counts as one, like whatever the fuck, like good times.
Yeah.
And then B, when when like she jumps in front of it and it's like
It stops
he
and
knows
licks her
me.
face.
It's like a big dog. It's like they're because they're together or they were together or something. And she's like, bitch, stop doing that.
This my
shit.
dog.
Yeah, no, he's not gonna do anything here. So it's like stuff like that. I was like, okay, you didn't just have them in there as some dumb thing that was happening over there and breaking stuff. Like you built it into your like world and stuff.
And that rhino stopped on a dime.
That was yeah. That the laws of physics are a fickle mistress, and we can't tempt them too much.
Sure, why would you want to?
Must just go along with them if possible.
Anything we're forgetting?
I want to talk about color because I'm a nerd.
Sure.
Color coding and stuff. You said it was very vibrant and like good looking. Not only that, but they used the color for like purposes. Like all of these guards are red and all of these guards are blue. And when they're all watching those like challenge battles and stuff, it's like the people from like the River Tribe are all turquoise, and the people from the whatever.
That one
are
dude
all
with
whatever.
the huge lip disc and the big plugs in his ears.
And you see
that lip disc was so big that I was like, how can he talk?
When he talked, I was like, damn, I'm really impressed that you can still talk. If that was really him, if that was really someone talking doing that, or the character at least, whatever. But and you see him not only in his like I'm going out to the ceremony gear, but you see him later just wearing like a suit.
Yes.
That still has the plate in. Yeah, no, dope. So color was used like throughout the whole thing, like Black Panther and Killmonger, I guess we'll call him. I forget his other name, was like they had different colored Black Panther suits.
Yeah, the black and silver, black and gold.
Yeah, which is like a necessity, I guess.
Whenever
to a
you have two
degree.
people fighting that look very similar, you need to do something.
And
they would occasionally pop off the mask to give us some expression.
To help you out. But like thematically, right? I guess it was process of like elimination, at least partially, but like he picks the necklace that T'Challa said was like, that's too much, that's ridiculous, I can't pick that one, but he was like rocking it like, yes. Now there may not have been any more to choose from, but I still like as like a theme that he's this like almost like a tiger, like has bigger things and like a gold plated
At one point he
thing and
stole
all
that
stuff.
mask from the museum and he wore that during his like hijinks.
Right, so he has there's a whole even if it doesn't matter or
I'm just
like
feeling
come
this.
up. Yeah, I'm just feeling it. Comes up. Yeah, he had a great quick mouth wit thing that I don't have to talk about stuff. No, I really appreciate that stuff because ever since like Star Wars, and I assume something before Star Wars, but as far as I'm concerned, movies started with Star Wars. I really can't think of anything prior to that. Like colors,
12 Angry Men.
12 Angry Men.
Black and white.
It was just black and white. Great use of color. No, like it's the oldest thing ever, right? Like the bad guy has a red laser sword and the good guy has a blue or a green laser sword, right? So you like establishing colors, using them throughout, and then when there's a big battle or like shit goes crazy later, or if someone grabs someone else's weapon and uses it, the contrast of the color can trigger in you like the feelings that would go along with that. It's awesome. So quality filmmaking continues to come through from Marvel Studios.
And it, with the sets that like it enabled so much cool like usage of things. Like I loved when during that ceremony fight scene, like these like spires go down and like release water goes into this way, so that the end of the thing could be like shallow enough that you could fight on, and there's like a stadium naturally formed in rock. It was really cool. When you mix those combinations of you have like this great old school stuff like that fight around this ceremonial thing, or where they grow the flowers, where it's like this traditional area, to then like skyscrapers and future tech and like holograms and shit. Very cool.
Crazy high-tech stuff.
I was at the very end. There's a thing like, well, what can Wakanda give to the blah blah blah? And he just like pauses and
just
ends.
Smiles.
And I was really hoping that he wasn't gonna hit like a button and like some like crazy holograms and shit were gonna happen.
Yeah, I
was
really
glad that they didn't do anything like that.
Good. Okay. I was kind of like, oh, that's weird that they didn't do something, but I guess it makes sense to do nothing and just let us fill it in. Is like a better thing or whatever the fuck.
Because it would have been cheesy.
Inevitably, whatever you think in your head of like, oh, if you only knew. But then when you see it, you go, well, like you'd have like a reaction to whatever they chose to show. Only criticism, if you have to pick one, is Marvel has been criticized a lot for having their villain always be like a dark version of their hero. So like Iron Man fights an evil Iron Man, and like Ant-Man fights an evil Ant-Man, and all that shit keeps going or whatever. And this movie too had Black Panther fight an evil Black Panther man, like same suit, literally like same, not the same model, but the same make of the suit that she
Yeah.
rolled out new suits or whatever. I think that this though, like, there's so much more going on, and there's reasons for why that is here, that it kind of is not in the same category, but definitely people are going
I've
to...
never been put off by it. I've never been like, oh man, that sucks. It makes sense that your villain is someone in the same field as you, that you'd be kind of close to you. And not until things expand and you've had more time to expand outside yourself would you meet those enemies that are different than you.
It's the kind of thing that when someone makes a YouTube video and they like rattle off 8 movies where it happens, you go, huh, that's right, fuck.
Yeah, but
right?
they're plot lines that are set out by a comic, which is pre-existing, and like, unless you're going to go directly against it, you're going to end up in scenarios like that.
It's a comic booky thing to do. I don't really necessarily think it's a bad thing either. And they have branched out around it at like different times. Like Loki's not just like Thor; they're both Asgardian, but they're not. They don't have the same like skill set or whatever. So
no, and you're not going to see that in the future ones coming up because you've gotten past it. I think in most people's origin-y stories, you're going to have things like that happen.
Especially,
it just seems to make sense.
Well, because like at the Hulk factory, they're making a bunch of Hulks, and you're like the good Hulk, right? It's kind of logical that would be the way that it works. And here, it fit in perfectly because he like demoted him and then took his spot and then got all the perks for being there. So it's not like you can say, why? So like, the only 2 Black Panthers somehow end up fighting? Like that's not the circumstances that surround it at all.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Well, here for obvious reasons. I liked all the dream sequences that I touched on briefly before. All that shit was super. Like, there's just a bunch of panthers in like a tree in some savannah somewhere hanging out in this like astral plane afterlife and all that stuff. More just good filmmaking, like the silly, like the background is like this pink and blue like sky and all that stuff. And then when Killmonger has his astral plane vision, it's that apartment, and there's like static on the TV, and he instantly goes for like the thing in the wall and all that stuff. Like his is much different than T'Challa's, which is great because you're not just like, oh, does everyone go to the same set when they have their... No, they don't. They go to very different places depending on their history and their life.
It's in your head.
It's wonderful. No Tears from Me. Oof, that got me there. Fuck. Acting.
I definitely enjoyed this movie. Had a great soundtrack. That was,
God, yes.
That's something I could see like popping on and just like enjoying.
We didn't talk. Well, I mentioned the music briefly, but I'll just call out too. Like again, like they had music, and I might have made some of this up in my head or whatever, but I'm pretty sure there were times where like they would cut back and forth, or like different people would get the upper hand in fights, and they would change the music where it would still be the same like track, but they would add in more like harsh and like techno stuff. When Killmonger had the upper hand, and more like traditional or tribal stuff for T'Challa part of it. I thought it was doing these cool things. Yeah, I was like, that's really awesome.
And they certainly
really
had that type of thing happening. And like when different ones started a scene off and walked out, it was like their entrance music, and you could tell what was about to happen.
That shot where it starts upside down when he's like slow-mo walking to like the throne, he cuts all the faces of the elders, being like, "What are we doing here?" Like, and it's playing that like grimy track. Ugh. Soundtrack's dope.
Very much so. Anything we're forgetting in
Bucky.
This? Oh, so the after credits sequence, the post credit sequence is Bucky. He's there with
Bucky
Q.
O'Hare.
No, Barnes. He's there with T'Challa's sister. I call her Q because that's what she reminds me of.
She reminded me of a young Rihanna.
I guess I could see that.
Something about the facial shape. I don't know.
I just pick up on her gadget making ability.
No,
that's how she's.
Her role is certainly Q.
So they're doing something. He has the metal arm is gone. He has nothing there.
Just hanging.
And we'll see what they're about to do with him. But, he's training.
So they thought him out, right? And it seems like he's training not just like I almost expected him. I got like a Last Samurai vibe. Like he's training, but not just maybe training in whatever way you might expect, but he's training like to find his inner like peace and his center or something like that, to like master his demons and like conquer his like fucked upness and all that stuff. So there's definitely a future for him. That guy hit the jackpot. He went from being the friend of the dude. Like, was that planned forever that he would, be in this role?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe
the moment you signed on to a Marvel movie and your name was Bucky,
okay,
you knew his line was cut out.
That was already a thing.
100%.
Okay, because he really seemed like he came into the role. Like back in the first movie, I didn't even like him or notice him as much as I did in like the later movies. I really liked what he was.
Well, he's a different character by then.
Doing all that stuff. Totally. Yeah.
But I'm interested to see what happens to him. I want him to get his arm back. I want to see.
He'll have a better Wakandan arm now. It'll be fucking
potentially.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. So that was our thoughts on Black Panther. Let us know in those comments below what you think about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.